Now, one of the principles that I wanted to talk to you about was debt. At this time, this was a couple years down the road, and at this time I had 2 children, and I had a third on the way. My wife was pregnant with our 3rd child. And we had absolutely no money. I mean, 0. I could not rub 2 nickels together. And so, how are we going to start this company? Well, the other side of that, too, is I had absolutely no debt. I had no house payment. I had no car payments. I had no student loans. I had no credit cards. I had no debt at all. 0. Now, the difference is had I had debt, I would not have been able to even think about starting our own business. Because if I had all those payments and all that debt, I would have had to have gone out and the very next day done something to get a paycheck and get it coming fast. Because I had all those obligations. Now, because we didn't have any debt, we were able to figure out how to come up with some money and how to get this thing going and how to start it. That was not the hardest part. And again, if you have debt, I challenge you to make sure you keep your life in check and you do everything you can to minimize your debt, because that will prevent you from taking advantage of opportunities in the future. And I've seen a lot of people come and go from our company who, when we were starting up, there was great opportunity available for them, but they had debt and they couldn't do anything. This recession is a great example of too much debt and what it can do to people and the economy and businesses. So debt, it'll kill you. It'll bind you. It'll prevent you from taking advantage of opportunities. Don't do it. So anyway, to continue my story, we decided that we were going to start our own company, and we did. In the first little while, we started out storing boats, servicing boats, detailing boats, selling boats on consignment, because we just didn't have the money to do new boats yet. But I kept calling Cobalt, and I kept saying, one of these days, I'm going to be your dealer. I'm getting myself ready. And I'd even go to the boat show every year, and I'd see the factory rep there, and I'd say, one of these days, I'm going to be your dealer here in Salt Lake. And he's like, yeah, whatever, don't bother me, kid. And after a while, I got a phone call, and it was Cobalt on the phone. And they said, we're going to make a change in Salt Lake City. How would you like to be the dealer? And I was like, sweet. How fast do you want me on an airplane to the factory? And so I flew out to the factory. I ordered up a truckload of boats. It was a done deal, and I flew home, and I said to my wife, guess what? And she said, what? And I said, we're the Cobalt dealer. And she said, wow, that's great. And I said, guess what? She said, what? I said, we ordered a truckload of boats. And she said, that's great. And I said, guess what? And she said, what? And I said, it'll be here in 30 days, and I have no idea how to pay for it. And I didn't. I had no idea how to come up with the money to pay for those boats. But I knew we could figure it out, and we went to work, and we did. And we are now Taylor's Boats. And we've had a great run. It's been a fantastic experience. And so those are kind of the things that I want you to understand. When you look at the path that I went through, that there were some really great lessons that the Lord taught me. Like Nephi, he always kept pushing ahead. He always kept moving forward. He never quit. He kept doing the right things. And as he did, the Lord helped him every step of the way to accomplish great things. And I promise you that if you'll involve the Lord in what you do, you'll see him open doors. You'll see him provide ways. You'll see yourself do great things and be able to take advantage of great opportunities.